students, it's Tim here from Premier Martial Arts here in Aurora, ready to go over another piece of our curriculum today. I hope you're all staying safe, staying healthy, and ready to practice some martial arts. Let's get started. All right, students, the first thing that I want to see you guys practice, or first thing I want you guys to practice today, is just making sure that we have strong alignment in our arms when we're going to throw our punches, making sure we're engaging our whole body. The way that I want you to practice this today is by making super tight fists and putting those two punching knuckles, right, or putting those big knuckles on your hands into the ground as you hold a plank position. So I'm going to make these tight fists, I'm going to press them into the floor, and then just making sure that I'm sturdy, keeping my forearms and my wrists strong and straight. I'll reach my feet back, getting into this position. Now, just pressing here should be just a little bit of a challenge, but if you want to take it up a notch, what I'm going to do is spread my feet just a little bit, but then I'm going to practice just taking one hand at a time, pulling it up towards my face like a guard stance. First thing, just practicing that alignment, making sure that we're engaging our body to have strong, sturdy punches. All right, students, the next thing that I want you to practice is warming up for your hips for those kicks. So find a spot on a wall or something that you can lean against. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand on this Wave Master right here just to help keep my alignment there. I don't want to lean too heavy into the Wave Master. I'm doing my best to hold my posture up on my own, but I do have my hand here just to help me out. Just in case for that stability. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my knee like I'm going to do a round kick, right? I'm lifting my knee and I'm pulling my heel back and pointing my hip out. What I want to do is I want to practice just pushing forward with my hip and then just pulling my knee back just a little bit more. I'm going to do this 10 times on each side before I continue with the practice today. All right, students, let's get into our first combination today. Now, I'm going to get in a guard stance, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to practice using my front leg to throw a round kick. Now, when I throw my round kick, I'm only going to throw it up at a 45-degree angle because I want to pay great attention to how I place my foot down on the floor. So when I'm here, without taking any steps, without doing a shuffle step or anything, I'm just going to lift my knee, turn my hip a little bit out of this 45-degree angle, and flick my round kick out. Now, after I flick my round kick out, I want to take my foot. I don't want to set it right back on the same spot, but I'm going to take that foot and I'm going to set it out a little bit farther to that side. That's going to be the first part of the combination. Just practice that kick and stepping out a few times before moving on. Now let's build on that round kick. By throwing that round kick and being able to take my foot and step it out, it's going to open up my hips so I can align my backside, either punches or kicks, a little bit better towards my target. Today, what I'm going to practice is I'm going to throw this round kick. As soon as I step that foot out, I'm going to twist and I'm going to throw my cross with my rear hand. Now, as soon as I finish throwing that cross, I'm going to finish going around to the outside just by taking that back foot and turning it out this way. So the combination I'm practicing today, I'm going round kick with my front leg, right away stepping it out, throwing the cross, and immediately sliding my back foot out, taking that angle. One more time, I'm going round kick, stepping it out, cross, right away pivoting off of my back foot. All right, students, now let's work on a combination of combative attacks using our knees and our elbows. Right there. Close quarter, some of the most powerful, most effective techniques we can use when defending ourselves, as well as in kickboxing too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in a guard stance. It doesn't matter which side because I'm going to do it from both stances on both sides. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start by throwing my rear knee. Now right away after I throw my rear knee, I'm going to set that foot forward. And then immediately I'm going to use my back arm and I'm going to throw my forward elbow and then a sideways elbow from here. Now I'll reset my guard stance. Notice I'm in a different guard stance with my other foot forward than when I started. And I will repeat the sequence on the other side. I'm going to throw my rear leg knee strike. Set it down in front of me. My rear elbow is going to throw. Notice how I turn my shoulders. I'm going to leave my shoulders here and then I'm going to pull my elbow back one more time. Look at the combination again. I'm going rear knee, setting it forward. My now rear side elbow. And then again from here, pulling it back. All right, students, next let's work on a progression working on our backwards break fall. We're going to do our best in our backward break fall today. That way we are prepared the best that we can for curriculum later on through the month. So the first exercise or the first movement that I want you to do to get started with this break fall is doing a deck squat. So I'm going to turn to the side to show this. I'm going to keep my feet on the floor. I'm going to start by squatting down, curling myself into a ball. And then I'm going to roll back like I'm doing the back half of a sit-up. But when I come back, I want to make sure that I keep my feet on the floor. I will take my hands, reach them up just cause, and then I'm going to sit all the way up and get all the way up back to my feet. Perform that movement a few times before we continue. All right, students, building onto that deck squat that we started with. What I'm going to do now is as I roll back, I'm going to, again, make sure I keep my feet on the floor, but I'm going to tuck my chin, really engage, making sure that my head doesn't hit the floor, and I'm going to make sure I tuck my hips up off the ground a little bit also. So it should look like this. I squat down and I curl. Now right here, before I roll back, I'm ready to tuck my chin down, and as soon as I roll, I'm pressing my feet into the floor, lifting my hips just barely off of the ground. Right, then we'll get back up and we'll perform this again. I squat down, chin is tucked, hips up. My shoulders hit the floor, my hands do not hit the floor. And I have this space, just like this. All right, students, let's continue our progression. Once I get my shoulders on the floor, my hips are up, and I make sure my chin is tucked, then I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to touch the ground like this. I want to turn my hands palm down at a 45-degree angle, just like this, when I put my hands down onto the floor. So, squat down, my chin is tucked, right, my feet stay on the floor. But once my shoulders get to the floor, take my hands and I'll touch the ground just like this. I'm not trying to slap them as hard as I can. I'm making sure that I'm not slamming my elbows into the ground at all. It's just very gently. Once I got to this position, take my hands, touch the ground. All right, last piece of our break fall progression. Once I let my hands hit the floor, then I'm going to lift one foot off of the ground, making sure I lift my heel above my knee, and then I'm going to take my hands, I'm going to put them in front of me like a guard stance. So it should look like this. Squat down, my chin is tucked, feet are on the floor. I make sure I lift my hips engage. I'll touch the ground once my shoulders get here. Then from here, I'm going to lift one foot, making sure I get my heel above my knee, aimed at my attacker or my opponent, and then right away taking my hands, tucking them in just like a guard stance. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. Rewatch the video a few times. Make sure we're getting as many of those details as we can about our combinations and about that break fall that we practiced today. Again, take time on that break fall. It's going to be vital. It's going to be important to staying safe and being effective through some of the curriculum for the rest of this month. Anyway, stay safe, stay healthy. Make sure that we're doing our best to help our families in this time. Make sure we're doing our best to stay disciplined with our work or with our school work and all that as well. Anyway, see you next time.